Morning everybody, welcome to St Mary's Kelvedon. It's Saturday the 23rd of April, the last day of Easter week. Strictly speaking, it's St George's Day, but St George's Day in the church calendar gets moved when it's in Easter week. I don't want to bore you with that because look at all this. These are all the pipes from St Mary's organ. There are nearly 1,000 of them. They're not all here of course, but a lot of them are here. Some are wood, some are lead, and that's why the church has to be locked of course while there's nobody here. And the church organ is having its full refurbishment, and if Sarah pans round you'll see the little ones which have all been cleaned, put in these special boxes, and if she pans around a bit more you'll see the big pipes that are still in place in the organ, what was once a chapel but is now where the organ is stored. This work has been long in the planning, and because the church, the organ hasn't really had any proper work done to it for about 50-60 years. It was put in 1968 and last altered in 1968 when Peter Ellis was vicar here. You may wonder, well, considering the church is so broke, how do we afford it? Well, the simple answer is to the generosity of our organist Caroline. The organ fund, which is money that can only be spent on the organ and nothing else, to try and spend it on anything else would be actually fraud, so we can't do that, has been built up over many years by Caroline's fees that she gets from services and from weddings and funerals and so on, and also some choir fees as well. I actually think you'll probably be embarrassed by this, that Caroline probably hasn't taken a fee for any of her services for literally years, if not decades. So that's how we've managed to pay for this work. So what's happening at the moment is that all the pipes are being cleaned, but then later in the year, probably not until after Christmas actually, so maybe next year, the pipes can be slightly and stops can be slightly reconfigured and changed to make them a better balance. But the cleaning, because they haven't been cleaned for 50 years, an awful lot of dust and muck has got into them, will produce a brighter and cleaner sound in the organ, rather than the occasionally rather muddy sound. And the other thing that's going to happen is that it's what's called a tracker action organ. I won't try and explain that because I can't. But essentially, the stops are moved, so the air gets into, from the pump, gets into the pipes to make the sound. And there are kind of leather straps which have got really old and hard, and it makes it really hard when you press down on the keys or use your feet on the pedals. So they're all going to be renewed as well to make the organ that much easier to play. So it's a fairly big job. It's going to take 5 weeks, and we're going to walk up now. Carefully, the camera woman will carefully get over that wire. Don't trip up. Don't worry, Lolly, we're going to finish this bit. Okay. And we're going to come out of the organ so you can see it without the pipes. Oh. We'll come round. So we're coming into the chancel now. Here's the organ. You see the bench has been moved, and you can see the organ apparatus which actually moves the pedals that move some of the pipes here. And this all needs to be sorted out and cleaned. And if you come round here, the light's not great, but you can see these are the holes where the pipes go. And as you can see, some of the pipes are still there, and these larger ones will be probably the last ones to be cleaned. I don't know quite how they're going to do them. If you look at the top, you may not see because the light's not great, you'll see the pipes are so long they've been bent over. So some of these pipes are sort of 16 feet or something. That's how tall they are, and others are not much bigger than a pencil. So it's an extraordinary thing. There are 1,056 pipes in the Fearing organ, I hasten to add, so that just slightly beats the Kelvedon one, because the Fearing one was slightly enlarged when we did that a little while ago. So this is the organ, and this work's going to take about 5 weeks, and it will definitely be playable, we hope, by the 20th of May, because there's a wedding then. Though the couple are quite happy if they have the piano, they told me, so that's good. But so 5 weeks, so the church will be locked when it's unattended, unfortunately, which is a shame because we know how much people love coming in. But I hope you can see why this work's important. It's been years in the planning. Certainly since I arrived 8 years ago, Caroline has been talking about getting the organ sorted out, and finally we've got there. Hallelujah.